Hey guys, we're here at Mullumbimby Market, so I've run into James Aspey. He's like this vegan activist, just a normal guy that's become a vegan and stands up for, you know, for the animals because they need a voice. And he just, he'll tell his story. So man, tell us how you became this vegan activist.
Yeah, so I was a personal trainer for 9 years, and I ended up scoring a job on a cruise ship where I was the, you know, like the health coach and did all the classes, did all the seminars and that kind of thing. And I met a man on the cruise ship who was, you know, he was just a passenger, and he was a very intelligent, very wise, Buddha-like kind of man. And we spoke every day for a couple of weeks, and on the last day we were chatting, he told me that eating animals is bad karma. Okay. And that resonated with me. I thought, yeah, like it probably is, but at the time I believed we need to eat animals to survive and to be healthy. So I didn't think about it too much. I didn't feel bad about it really, because I thought we had to. But I thought, well, you know what, like maybe I'll try going vegetarian just for a week. Everything this guy has said over the last couple of weeks I've been speaking to him has been spot on. So I'll try it for a week, see how I feel. A few days in, I felt so amazing just from cutting flesh. I wasn't vegan, I just cut the flesh from my diet, and I used to eat a ton of meat every single meal, every single day. So it wasn't surprising that I felt so much better so quickly, but it was surprising to me at the time because I didn't understand. I thought I'd feel weak and tired and, you know, all that. I thought I would have deflated all my muscles and that in a few days, no protein.
He's still pretty
apparently.
solid, he's still
Yeah.
pretty solid, guys.
And then, so I thought, wow, I feel amazing. Like, what's this about? I need to look into this because, you know, health is my job, and, you know, I need to tell people if this is healthy because I feel so good. So it must be something to this. I looked into it, I started reading about it, and I was just blown. It blew my mind. I've never thought you could be a healthy vegetarian. In fact, I've always believed you cannot be a healthy vegetarian because someone who I respected in the health industry told me that one time, and I just believed it. Looking into it, I'm like, what is this? You can reduce your chance. You do reduce your chance of diabetes, heart disease, cancer, high blood pressure, like just such a long list, cancers. And I thought, oh my God, I've been telling people to eat all this animal flesh like for protein, and it's been doing them a bad service.
Bad karma.
Well, that as well. You know, you're putting something into your body that has been tortured and suffered and lived in fear and ended by being murdered. And you know, you put that kind of energy into your body, which creates what you're made of. Like, that affects us too. It's no wonder you look around and so many people are stressed and depressed and anxious and can't sleep and just feeling like something's wrong. Well, yeah, there's something is kind of wrong here. And so, not kind of, actually, something's very wrong here. And so during my research into the health benefits, I never would have stuck at it just for health. Like, yes, I cared about health, but, you know, not that much. So much so to just keep animal products off my plate and out of my life. But when I learned through the research, you know, I kept seeing things pop up about animal cruelty and about animal slaughter. And before that, I didn't care about animals at all. And when I started seeing this stuff, I think it was for two different reasons that I started to care. The first was that I, for the first time, had learned that you don't need to eat animal products to survive and to be healthy and to thrive. So I thought, well, if we are continuing to confine and mutilate and torture and murder animals, why are we doing this when there's no necessity? When we don't need to do this for our health, what is the reason we're doing this for? And I couldn't think of one. And then the second thing why I think I started to care more was that, you know, there's a quote by Buddha, or a Buddhist quote, I don't know if it's by him, that says, the eating of meat extinguishes the seed of great compassion. And I don't think I could feel for animals while I was eating them. I just think it's too much of a conflict happening inside of me. How can I really feel and have like care or empathy for what animals are going through that I'm paying people to do for me, you know? And so I couldn't feel, and once that was out of my system, I watched the cruelty again. Like, I'd seen slaughterhouse footage and things like that before in documentaries, and I didn't feel anything. And then once I...
There's a car.
So once I saw it again with fresh eyes and without those kind of, you know, that inside of me or that conflict, I didn't have that conflict anymore, that's when I saw it and I went, oh, you know what? I try to be a peaceful, loving, good person. Like, my job is to help people feel better and be more healthy, and I love that. And I try to, help my friends. Like, I think most people, almost everyone, feels good when they help other people, and feels terrible if they hurt someone, even if it's by mistake or whatever. So I thought, this type of, paying people to do this to animals, for me, when there's no necessity, this is not in alignment with the person I've been striving to be, a good, person who cares about others. This is actually the complete opposite of that. And so I just thought, you know what, I have at first it was about health, and I just thought, wow, I just got a new reason to stay vegetarian that completely trumps health. Like, this isn't even about me anymore, this is about them. And at that time, I did not understand about, the horrors in the egg and dairy industry, or what happens about leather, or just all the other ways we exploit animals unnecessarily. I didn't understand about any of them. Flesh made sense to me. Obviously, you cut a piece of the animal's body off them, so yeah, obviously they've suffered. But when it comes to milk, when it comes to dairy or eggs, it didn't seem like anyone was dying. The more research I did, the more I learned about, dairy, it's probably worse. There's probably more cruelty in a glass of milk than in a piece of steak. The babies are taken from that. First of all, the mother's impregnated. Then when she's pregnant, they take her babies. They're stealing her milk the whole time, which is meant for the baby. If the baby is a boy, then they take the boy. They don't produce milk. They're a waste product for the dairy industry. They send them off to the slaughterhouse to be killed at either a few days or a few weeks old. And if the girls are babies, they've got the same fate as their mother, impregnated, babies stolen from them, which is, they're stealing babies from their mother. Like, that's a horrific experience for these mothers, just as it would be for a human. They bellow and they cry for days and days and days sometimes. And
they keep the mothers pregnant all year round.
Yeah, constantly.
And that's not natural.
Oh, of course not. Yeah. And then once they're completely exhausted and they can't produce any more milk, like they're spent, they're sent to the same slaughterhouse as all the other animals, so they suffer intensely. And it's the same with the egg industry. The baby chicks, if they're males, they don't produce eggs, they're sent into a macerator, which is like a blender when they're fully conscious, blended up alive at a couple of days old. If they're girls, then they've got the same experience as their mum. They're turned into egg machines where they lay 1 egg a day, roughly, for every single day. In nature, they would lay about 20 eggs. And then they're killed at a couple of years old, which is a fraction of their lifespan as well. They're all murdered as well. All for products we do not need at all. We're actually better off without them. Our health is better off without them. The environment is far better off without them. And most obviously the animals are better off without them. So when I learned all that, I went, oh my God, I'm gonna have to go vegan, because going vegetarian is just not enough. In fact, what I'd done going vegetarian, I'd cut meat from my diet, and I'd replace that with extra eggs and extra dairy. So I was probably causing even more suffering than I was before, because I just replaced the suffering. I just transferred the suffering to different animals. And so I was causing perhaps as much, maybe more, maybe a little bit less, around the same amount of suffering, thinking I was doing a great thing going vegetarian. My heart was in the right place, I just didn't know all the facts yet. And I realized if I want to be consistent in my stance against animal cruelty, because I'm against animal cruelty to all animals, all the time, in all ways, not just, oh, don't worry about cats and dogs, they're cool, but you can mutilate those ones and kill those ones. I'm against it all. There's no difference, no significant difference between these animals, why we should care about some and not the others. So I thought I'm going to have to go vegan. It's the only rational response if you're against animal cruelty at all. And I'm against all use of animals. I think they're not ours to use, they're not ours to exploit. We shouldn't be using them for our own trivial reasons or insignificant things, as oh, we like the way they taste. There's just no good reason to do it. There's every good reason to be vegan, and I feel so much better now. There's none of that conflict in me anymore. I'm more confident being who I am. I feel so great that I'm not contributing to so much suffering and death of animals who now I've actually grown to really care about, because I understand that, now I understand humans are animals, they're animals. We share so much in common. We all have a heart, we all have a brain, we have families and communities and ways we live our lives. We share so much in common. And so now I do care for them a lot more. 1.5 trillion animals are being killed every year by humans. And this is by people who claim to care about animals and claim to love animals. So when they see how easy it is to be vegan, how amazing the food is, how healthy it is, I think that's all people need to go, yeah, well, what am I doing? I've got the option to eat foods that kill animals and abuse mothers and all these things, or I've got the option to not, and both are equally, you know, I'd argue that veganism, the food is way better. I eat banana ice cream for breakfast every day, and I eat amazing food now, and I feel so great. So there's every reason to do it and no reason not to. That's pretty much it.
Now you've done some amazing things to bring awareness to animals, haven't you? Like, you spent a whole year doing something.
Yeah. Well, last year I did a campaign called Voiceless 365. And in that campaign, I took a vow of silence for 365 days to raise awareness for animals. So I didn't talk for a whole year, and I wrote a blog about it, you know, about my journey. I travelled around Australia, just you know, meeting people and giving them literature and DVDs and spreading the love and writing a blog and learning myself, because I'm still a new vegan. I haven't even been vegan for 2 years. So I was writing what I was learning through the blog, and I was, yeah, at the end of that year, after spreading awareness for a year, I was interviewed on Australia's most popular morning show, Sunrise. And since then, like, that interview, that went viral and that was seen by over 1 million people very quickly. And since then, it's been like a lot of stuff's come my way, you know, doing talks in schools and talks at events and things like that, and just helping all the people who've got in contact with me who have questions about, you know, how to go vegan or how to be a better vegan activist and things like that. And so, yeah, that's kind of, I'm just trying to spread the love now.
Mate, he's doing some amazing work. I'm so glad I ran into him up here. Aspie, how can people get in touch with you? Like, where can they find you online?
Yeah, online, I've got my Facebook page, Voiceless365, same with Instagram, and you can email me anytime at voiceless365@hotmail.com, and that's pretty much the ways. Or I've got a YouTube channel as well, where I've got a few videos on there, and I'll make a few more soon. But yeah, email me anytime. I'm happy to answer any questions. I try to write back to everybody, and yeah, I'd be happy to hear from you.
Cool, man. Thanks.
Sweet. Thanks,
nice
brother. Yeah, nice.
Cheers.
Nice, man.
Okay, guys.